Good morning, Heathlands, and welcome to week 20 of Heathlands at Home Extended Broadcast. This week so far we've had
Dancing to Heal with Wendy and Tai Chi with Annette.
Heathlands Quiz of the Week, and Paul won.
So well done to you, Paul.
Everyone will have received their activity packs by now.
This edition covers Earth Day, St. George's Day and World Penguin Day, which all happen this week.
Earth Day is tomorrow, and all Heathlands bubbles have been hard at work making Earth Day crafts to decorate their bubbles.
St. George's Day is on Friday and World Penguin Day is on Sunday.
Coming up today from Heathlands at Home.
On Facebook at 11 after us, in a change to the usual Nick's workout, we have Dancing to Heal seated with Wendy.
And Nick's workout session will be on Thursday at 11 instead.
At 12, we have live lunch over Google Meet until 1:45.
Theme bingo with the return of Spiff at 1 p.m.
At 4 p.m. on Facebook, we are premiering the recording of last week's Bingo Club with Maria and Mark.
The recording is a little shorter than normal, as Mark forgot to press record.
However, they did do a recap of all the numbers missed from the unrecorded part, so you can still play along if you wish.
Our evening sessions will be stopping at the end of April, but we hope to start these up later on in the year.
With the exception of Jeanette and Susan, who have decided to continue their book club.
So if you are a member of the book club, don't worry, this will continue.
Book Club is also starting a new book this week, and we have Stephen joining the club too.
The new book will be Diary of a Chav by Grace Dent.
Coming up right now, we have
a guest presenter with an activity to show you.
Today we have one of the Helens again, but which one will it be this time?
Now, I don't know about you, but however careful I am, I always end up with odd socks. Pairs go into the washing machine, single socks come out. What happens to the other one? Nobody knows. As it's one of those mysteries that we're unlikely to solve, I thought I'd come up with a way of using these unloved, lonely single socks. And what I thought would be fun was to show you how to make little rabbits out of them. So this is from another odd sock, a pink one. It's got a little pom-pom tail and buttons for eyes. It's a nice and simple craft. There's not very much sewing, and if you wanted to, you could even glue the eyes on rather than sew them if you're not that keen on sewing. So let's have a quick look at what we're going to need. To make your bunny, you're going to need a sock, something to stuff your sock with. I'm using toy stuffing here, but you can use pretty much anything. Scraps of fabric, cotton wool, other lonely socks. You could even use something like rice. Just be very careful when you're pouring it into the sock that it doesn't go everywhere. You'll need a bit of ribbon to tie the head into shape and to give him a nice bow. Some buttons for eyes and nose. A little pom-pom for a tail. If you haven't got a pom-pom like this, you can make one. We've got some tutorials up on the Heathlands at Home site. You'll need your scissors and your needle and thread. So, let's get making. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to stuff the sock to make the bunny shape. And if you have a little look, because they're made to fit your feet, this bit is going to become the head, these are going to become the ears, and this bit will be the body. So when you're stuffing it, you probably want to put more in the body than you do in the head. And all I'm going to do is take some handfuls of this and stick it into the sock. There we go, right down to the end. And another bit to make the rest of the body. There we go. A little bit more. There we go. You can see where it's starting to fill out the heel bit. That's going to make a good head shape. Put a a little bit more down into the body section. There we go. So we're starting to see our creature come together. Next up, we're going to make the ears. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to cut this section down the middle. I'm not going to cut right to the heel. I'm going to cut about 2/3 of the way along here. So on this pattern of socks, that's between these two deer heads. So I'm going to cut straight down there. So make sure your sock's lying nice and flat. And then cut about 2/3 of the way down. And that's going to give you your 2 ears. And what we're going to do is tie those bits in a knot, like so. And now our rabbit has ears. Now if you wanted to, what you could do is you could round this bit off so it's more of an ear shape. So with the scissors, just going to trim that so it looks a bit more like an ear. There we go. So our bunny's starting to take shape. Next off, we're going to add a bit more definition to the head and the body. So we're going to take our piece of ribbon and we're going to tie it around the gap. So where the heel starts making the head, we're going to tie that in a nice bow to give definition between the head and the body. And I'm going to pull it quite tight to give it a good neck shape. And I'm just tying that in a bow like you would with your shoelaces. If you haven't got any ribbon, you could use a bit of string for this, or even an elastic band. Anything that's going to just help define those 2 areas. There we go. So my bunny now has ears and a bow. Next off, we're going to add the features. So we're going to give Bunny a nose and eyes. So I'm just using ordinary sewing thread for this. And if you really don't like sewing, you could glue your buttons on for this bit. But it's really not a difficult job sewing them on. So if you've got a little bit of time and a couple of buttons, I would give it a go. So I'm going to start with the nose, and I want that at the tip of the head. So I'm just going to anchor my thread in there by making a couple of little stitches. I'm going to take my little pink button for the nose. There we go. And this has got 4 holes, this button, so I'm going to sew it in a little cross shape. So I'm sewing diagonally across 2. I'm going to do another stitch in the same place to make sure it's nice and strong. And then I'm going to go through the other 2 holes to make the little cross. Doesn't matter too much because this is just for decoration, but I don't want his nose to fall off. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle through the head out to where I want the eye to be so that I don't have to start another piece of thread. But there's the nose sewn on with a little cross, and this is where my eye is going to go. So same as before, I'm going to make sure it's in the right place, make sure that I'm happy with where that's sitting, go from one hole into another, going diagonally to make little crosses on this one. And when I've done 2 stitches in that spot, I'm going to make the other half of the little cross. Again, another stitch just to make sure it's really secure. And again, I'm going to carefully take my needle through the head so that it comes out where I want the other eye to be. And that just saves me having to tie lots of knots. If you're not comfortable doing that, you can use a separate bit of thread for each button. That's absolutely fine. There we go, I've managed to go through the wrong hole on this one, so I'm doing 2 straight stitches instead of a cross stitch on this, and that's fine. And you can see also that I haven't got matching buttons for the eyes. I've got different buttons because I think that'll give him a bit of character. There we go. So that's the first eye that I sewed on. And there's the second eye. So you can see my little bunny starting to take shape. And to finish the thread off on the buttons, I'm going to wrap it round underneath a couple of times. And then I'm going to make some tiny stitches just to make sure the thread doesn't come undone. 1, 2, 3. Take the needle back into the fabric. And careful not to snip the rabbit, just the thread. There we go, and then the M will disappear and be safely locked inside. So our bunny's looking pretty cool. He's got ears and a face, but we do know that they've got fluffy little tails, generally rabbits. So with the rest of my thread, I'm going to go to the other end of the rabbit. And again, I'm going to anchor my thread with a few little stitches. You can use a knot if you prefer, that's fine. And I'm going to stitch on this fluffy pom-pom that I found, because I think that'll make rather a nice little bunny tail. So I've gone right through the pom-pom. And as I say, you could use another button for this. You could make a pom-pom. You could use another bit of fabric. You could even, if you wanted to, make a little lump of stuffing and tie off a little tail like that if you wanted to. I'm just doing my 1, 2, 3 small stitches to anchor my thread. Take it back through there so that it gets lost in the middle. Carefully trim it off, not trimming the bunny. And there we have one rather sweet little bunny. So he's got his button eyes and nose, flopsy ears, a little bow and a little pom-pom for a tail. So have a look in your sock drawer, see if there's any socks that you'd like to turn into little bunnies, and let's see if we can make a Heathlands flock of Easter bunnies. Whatever you do, have fun and don't forget to show us how you get on.
As you've seen this week, we've had Helen Walsh making a sock bunny.
Coming up later this week,
Nick with his Football Fanatics Live social group is on Thursday at 1:30.
also on Thursday, Nick will do his workout session at 11.
Heathlands Book Club with Jeanette and Susan.
On Friday, as Nick is now doing sessions for Better Together, which starts up this Friday.
We'll be showing a classic exercise session from our archive.
This could be from Nick, Annette or Wendy, so watch out Friday on Facebook at 11 to find out.
Also on Friday we have Heathlands Live with Biff, Mark and Helen, plus Friday Arts Live with guest artist Helen Walsh.
This week Helen will be doing a crafts tutorial for you. We sent out packs to all the regulars for this session with all the material you will need.
Which brings us to the main event of our Heathlands at Home broadcast.
The highlight of our week.
We have another awesome book to read to you.
And today's book is Super Tato, Bubbly Trouble. It was night time in the supermarket and the veggies were enjoying their weekly bath. Look, Super Tato, a bubbly hat, said Cucumber. I've got a bubbly beard, said Aubergine. I've made a bubble cave, said Carrot. Look what I've made, said Tomato. It's a bubbleosaurus. Well, said Cucumber, we need more bubbles. Quick, someone pass the bubble mixture. Allow me, sniggered the evil pea, swapping the bubbly bubbles for troubly bubbles. There were already a lot of bubbles, but soon the bubbles doubled. That's the last I'll see of those veggie nitwits for a while, crackled the pea. Ooh, what is this? I've got their ducky. Trapped down in the bubbles, it was very confusing. We didn't want to double the bubbles, cried Cucumber. I can't see, sobbed Tomato. I don't know where I am, called Carrot. Then somebody spoke. Relax, man. Everyone cool it. I know that voice, said Super Potato. It's Mystic Mango. Do you know where we are? You're in the chilled aisle, Super Dude. Look, veggies, don't panic. You can sort out this mess. The solution is here, so get looking. Don't stress. The solution is here. Thought Super Potato. First they tried the bubbly biscuit aisle, but all they found were bubbles. It was the same in the bubbly baking aisle. Then all of a sudden Tomato spotted something. Nobody move, he shouted. We're in the stationery aisle. The solution must be pencils. Mystic Mango means we should pop the bubbles with the pointy pencils. So Tomato set to work. This is going to take quite a long time, Super Tato. No, groovy veggies, don't bother with those. What you seek cleans you up from your head to your toes. I know what it is, shouted Cucumber. It's a flannel. We can wipe the bubbles away. But Cucumber tried and it didn't work. The flannel just moves them around, Super Tato. It's not a flannel, is it, Mystic Mango? Said Cucumber. Sorry, man. It sure was a groovy solution, but no. Relax, Veggie Juice, the answer is near. Find a magical castle and the bubbles will clear. Where are we going to find a magical castle? Said Super Tato. Is that one? Asked Carrot. It certainly looks like one, cried the veggies. But as they got closer, they realised it wasn't a magical castle at all. It's just lots of bars of soap, said the veggies, disappointed. But Super Tato wasn't disappointed. Of course, how could I forget? Is this the end for the bubbles? Said one pineapple to another. You bet it is, pineapples. Soap makes bubbles disappear. Don't believe me? Maybe you should try it. Soap Potato to the rescue. It's time to get poppin'. Soon almost all the bubbles were gone. Oops, looks like we missed some, said Tomato. And what's that behind them? Come on, little ducky, it's a lovely day for it. Uh-oh. Super Tato, thanks to you, all the bubbles have disappeared. Not all the bubbles, Tomato. I've saved just one. The veggies were fooled. Super Tato, we love you. Super Tato, you're amazing. Super Tato, I am your biggest fan. Oh no, you're not, Tomato. This is my biggest fan, and it's going to blow that pea over to the freezer aisle where he belongs. Fish Fingers, would you mind popping that pea back in the freezer for me, please? Oh yes, Super Tato, we'll be delighted. Grrr.
I guess you could say that was super.
We are back again the same time next week with another awesome book to read you.
Have a great rest of your week and stay safe and stay happy, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.